I mean, it's been very rewarding because when we got to the championship, I thought I'd push my luck and see if I could get them to stitch the goal mouths. Like, and when I went up to him with the price, he says, "Find out a price to stitch the whole pitch," and they had the whole pitch stitched. And as everyone knows, that just transformed the surface. You know, it was unbelievable. There's been investment going into the pitch, you know, but on the other side of the coin, we've only got a couple of 2 or 3 more years here, and we're going to be moving to a new stadium. So, you know, you've got to weigh up the pros and cons, like, you know, of investments. If I, like I say, if I think back to the old days of how the pitch used to be when I first started, it was horrendous. You know, there was no corros to strip off the top surface in them days, and you know, renovation techniques were totally different. And you know, so with technology moving along, you know, things have progressed. I think it had to be done to fulfil the Premier League requirements, most definitely. I don't know. I doubt if it had been done if we'd have stayed in the Championship. But the infrastructure that they've now made within the club, you know, it's not just the new stand, it's the rest of the stadium has all been had a major refurbishment all over, you know, to see us through till we go to the new stadium. That side of it is really rewarding to see, you know, because everybody in the club has worked hard to get to where we are, you know, not only to get in the Premier League, but to get the ground ready for Premier League football. It's an old stadium at the end of the day, you know, and when the stadium was built, it wasn't built for Sky TV, whereas a lot of the newer stadiums now are all built with new feelings around the TV and what's required, you know, so there's plenty of space around the area. But here we're enclosed with housing on 3 sides, and there's not the space, so we have to utilise the space that we've got to achieve where we are. Yeah, the pressure's been huge because you know that the TV games, you know, every game is being shown around the world, you know, and whilst our pitch is not an Emirates or anything like that, you know, we as a team try to do the best what we can to make it look as good as we can. So everything we do during the week goes towards a Saturday or whatever day the game is, and you know, and when we get to a Saturday and we've prepped the pitch and it's all ready, the lads, they're always walking around the stadium taking pictures of it and, you know, showing that they're proud of what we've done. Once that game kicks off, you know, you can feel proud that you've got a Premier League pitch. I've been here 30 years, and I think I've aged 30 years in the last 6 months. It's been many sleepless nights, worrying about, are we going to get this right? Is it going to grow? Praying on the weather going to help us. And like I say, to grow a pitch in 4 weeks, you know, and then you've got people playing on it, you know, it's mind-boggling that we've got to where we have done with it. If we had people coming on still trying to deliver stuff to deck out the new stand, you know, we've got it roped off to try and stop people going on it. But you come in one Saturday morning and you find like a diesel container that's half on, half off the pitch, and you think, oh God, who's put that on there? And then praying it hasn't killed anything off. And you know, it's just trying to manage that all the time. And even though it was all boarded out to take the weight of vehicles, obviously people were more interested in building the stand and not worrying about things dripping underneath, like, you know, whether there's a dumper truck that's got a hydraulic oil leak, you know. And so when we found the diesel spills, and it was heartbreaking to think, oh my God, no, we've got to dig it out, you know. Whereas normally it would just be a question of seeding, putting the germination sheet on for 5 days, and cutting it after 9 or 10 days, you know. Well, when I started here, we was in the Championship, and we staved off relegation on my first year, and then around about the 2004, 2005, somewhere around there, things started to go wrong, and we ended up slipping down the leagues. We had 2 administrations. We didn't get paid on time. You know, worried about whether the place would survive even, you know. You know, I had a young family in them days, you know, so I did look at a plan B, even though I didn't want to do a plan B. You know, I've loved what I've done, which is why I've been here so long. You know, but at the end of the day, if you're not getting paid, you know, then you have to think of alternatives. But I'm glad things did work out. We got punished a lot with points deductions, problems with various owners prior to where we are now. You know, which is wrong in my opinion. You know, why should the fans have to take the brunt of this because of previous ownerships? But it's been, you know, we dropped down into the conference. We've done 5 years down there, you know, and it's crazy to think that within 10 years we was going to be playing in the Premier League. You know, anyone had said that back then, I'd have said, don't be silly, it's never going to happen, you know. But, you know, we are. You know, so, you know, but from the pitch point of view, we had real bad problems with drainage. We had a game, I think it was against Salisbury, league game against Salisbury, called off because of flooding. And you know you've got a problem when you come in on the Monday morning and it's still wet out there, you know, and fair play to the board, they decided to invest in putting some drainage into it, and it just transformed the pitch. You know, and just made it a better surface. We used to be at Tilsworth Golf Club years ago, and I'd done 6 years there and learnt me trade there. And then basically the father-in-law had 2 tickets in one of the executive suites, and I came down to a game with him, and the pitch was awful in them days. And I just got talking to one of the guys that worked here, and she said, "Oh, you know about that thing?" And I explained it. And they were looking for a groundsman at the time, and I just didn't think nothing of it. And then I saw it was in the paper that the previous groundsman had left, so I rang the guy up, came down, had a couple of interviews, and they offered me the job. And the rest is history, as they say, yeah.